So we can place it somewhere.
Yeah, that's what. Okay. Right. Yeah. The topics are
HTML and CSS.
HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap is also provided.
Yeah, sir, but I'm already done with this stuff.
Video recording.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, right. You did not watch videos on those. We'll go with HTML and CSS. Yeah. In one of you start your discussion among yourself.
Yeah.
Not to us, but everybody.
Okay. Good morning, guys. So, as a part of today's module, we are going to discuss about HTML and CSS. So, basically, HTML is all about creating a web page. When it comes to the CSS, a cascading style sheet, as the name suggests that, cascading means it is like spilling out something, adding some color or imparting some kind of look and feel nature. So that is what CSS do here. What else? So when it comes to HTML, there are different kind of tags we started with, right? So tags in the sense for a paragraph, for a division, or for a border, or for whatever you want to do with the look and feel. We need to make it a partition. For a paragraph, we need to partition like a P1P, close the tag, start the tag, close the tag. The similar way we do for everything in HTML. HTML follows tabular structure.
Okay. Can someone summarize what he has
So
to
basically what he said was that HTML is that what you want to upload on the website, and CSS is what how you want to show it to the people.
It's not uploading, it's making the website. Okay, yes, that is the first
It's
discussion
like
about
binding between the code as well as the look and feel, the both. Smash them
HTML
together.
just gives what you want to show it to the people, and CSS gives how to show it to the
Yeah,
people.
exactly.
Okay.
then
And-
we'll continue with HTML, then we'll go for CSS.
Yeah.
At the end, we'll discuss commonly about HTML and CSS. So now discuss start with HTML, don't get into CSS for some time.
Yes, someone has, you have told that HTML will be, what does it do? Again, summarize it, what you have told.
So basically HTML will do what the web page have to do, whether it is a field of document or input field or whatever it is. So what are the properties of the web page will be designed in the HTML document, and how we are going to portray it to the web page is done by CSS. That is basic summary of mine.
Keeping apart CSS for later, HTML, can anybody add points to his?
Like it has some tags, header, body,
Okay.
and header in the body it has opening and closing tag. In header we will display the title, like the title open and close, and in body we will display the paragraph, headings, and there are the heading tags H1 to H6. The based on like H1 it will have the heading with the model font, and it will decrease by going on like H2, H3.
Okay.
Different fonts.
Before going to any other further, what actually is HTML? Because I did not get what HTML actually is.
HTML is exactly a hypertext markup language. It's mainly used to design a web page, because nowadays people are very much interested in order to upload a website, or if you want to even fill a form, we need a web page. So in order to do that, we need this HTML. So there are many tags in this.
Okay, before going to tags, you design HTML. In this designing, what you will be having?
See,
What do you design
you can
actually?
write HTML code in an open text editor. It doesn't need any IDE
So-
for.
Okay. My question is not that.
Okay.
She's told that we design HTML page. Yes. What do you design?
So basically what the client needs, like if someone needs a Bookmyshow app, we develop according to their needs.
To
They give
display
us
the
those
information.
specifications. On those specifications, that HTML is a language, how you portray those specifications and make it online to the people.
Okay. Is it the specifications or the data? That's your problem. Data.
It can be both, sir. In my point of view, see,
Data according
for a particular
One
website.
second. Okay. HTML will be projecting only data or specification. What does specifications mean in your sense?
Suppose if we take a login function, in the login form we need the username and password and submit button. Those are the specifications. And
Next to comes to data.
Those belong to, okay, those belongs to elements, yes.
It should be in form of paragraph, headings.
And moreover, if we give for the email, if you want to log in into that, if we give email, it need to have at the rate of and all that. We have to give that specifications. If we did not give, they will pop up that error.
Okay, I want to stop you because that goes to the background processing. Yeah, any other points to add for
Yeah,
HTML, Didimo? Yeah.
Yeah, in my point of view, as when I said earlier, when we talk about the specifications, it is all about the requirement of the web page. For a particular website, see, it depends upon the particular website. You know, for Bookmyshow, they might be needing 2 or 3 pages. So one for the portraying whatever the show is available, one maybe for the booking, one maybe for the confirmation. So in that particular aspects, we need to go on with the specifications. See, for example, Bookmyshow, the specifications is that you need to show all the available seats at the same time, or the booking or not available seats.
Okay, once and I have one more question from your discussion that you're making. You're going to specify what client requires.
Yeah.
Okay, our discussion is not related to that point.
Okay.
Our discussion is only what is HTML, how do we use it, what are the properties that it has, only that. What actually is HTML?
So basically it does not deal with the data part, it just deals
Yeah.
with the front end part like Praveen sir said. There are 2 parts, front end and back end, and HTML comes in the front end part. It
Okay.
doesn't go to the back. Data collection is whole different thing. HTML does not do it. I think so.
And
Yeah, even I was-
there are
Okay.
too many versions in HTML, and present we are using HTML5.
Okay. And can
So in previous version we used to write it non-docted HTML. Non-docted HTML.
Document.
okay.
Which is not a tag, but in HTML file there is no need to write because it's not needed. Like it is not based on SGM.
Okay. Right. Can anyone summarize what happened till now on HTML? What HTML is?
There are other things like inlet elements in blocked elements.
Okay, one second. Before going to that discussion, summarize whatever happened right now, whatever we all discussed.
So what happened was we thought that HTML is a language which we write program to make some client code to go online, and it does not deal with the data collecting part of the website.
Okay. Can you explain what Tulsi has to?
Actually, HTML means like it is used to create a web page just to display a page, not like collecting data or any information. It is just used to display something like a username, like a buttons or boxes or whatever is required as per the requirements.
Yes. Do you all agree with that?
Yes, sir.
What does
It's to
HTML do?
create
It just
structure.
collects data on the web page.
Create
That's all what
structure.
HTML does.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. In HTML, what all parts you will be having? What types of? What are the different things that will be present in HTML?
In HTML, we will be
Okay. One point. One after another. If somebody is speaking, let him complete. You can add your point. Or if you want him to stop, if he's telling something, raise your hand so that he listen to you. Okay?
So in HTML, we will be having a header and a body, and whatever the users will see is present in the body, and the header part is it's also called as metadata,
Okay.
which we describe the title and all those stuff in the header part.
Okay.
In header part we can also, as Ram said, in header part we will also display titles. We can also add references to the style sheets.
Okay.
among these all, the main thing that we have to write in a HTML document is that HTML tag. That is the root tag of everything, and all these are the descendants to that tag, HTML tag.
Yes. Okay.
There will be always a opening tag and a closing tag. There are different type of tags. If you in which way we want to design a website.
Okay.
Some of the tags there is one closing tag like the image tag we don't have a close tag.
Yeah, adding to that, you can redirect a particular page to another page using a hyperreference link. We call it HRF, and we can put the same to the image also. We can add a reference link to the background also in the same thing. And we have what we call a tag called style, which is similar to the Cascade CSS that will work within the HTML if you want to make it a static.
Okay.
So in that we have several attributes for a particular field. If you say like an entry field of a text box, you can make a border. I mean, you can customize it. That is what exactly we do with the style of the HTML.
We also have a tag like division tag, which is used to display the information in form of trees like parent, children, partitions.
And there were so many fonts like bold, italic.
Okay. Your text will
To
have.
represent bold italic, we use emphasize tag.
Okay.
In the
So-
data we have attribute like class. Those classes used to apply CSS to particular group.
Okay, one second. One point to raise. About CSS, we'll discuss everything later. Okay, don't bring it into this. We'll just understand what HTML is. Because without HTML, we cannot discuss CSS. So, while discussing about CSS, we can say in HTML we'll include like this, we can discuss that. Okay, don't bring CSS inside. Yeah.
To start off with HTML, when we start learning about HTML, they start discovering about the elements in it, and the elements have these tag names like header, paragraphs, and something. And these paragraphs or headers, each tag has some attributes in it like emphasis, strong, and those all kind of things. Then these attributes help us to write the content we need in formatting kind of thing. Each tag will start with their name, then the content in the middle, and the closing tag.
Okay, in starting he told element. What is does
Element means that it contains the starting tag and ending tag, and content between is not the total combination of these three is known as element.
Okay.
I would like to add another point. We can have element in a element, like paragraph. Inside paragraph, we can even have span.
Yes, nested elements you can have. Yes, you listed many tags, right? That means you have paragraph, header, and all this. What is the default name given to all of them? What are these called as normally? Tags or elements? Tags, okay. And you have an HTML page. Without which tag you cannot open your HTML page. Is there something like that?
No, sir. You can always open
No.
HTML.
Yes?
We can.
No other problem.
So, is it really mandatory to close tag? Let us consider p tag or something. Let us keep it as p tag. Is it really mandatory to close p tag?
Yes, because every information below the p tag will also come under paragraph.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, let's keep. Initially, you are using p tag and you are not ended it, and next you went for division tag. Will it work? You have opened p tag,
Yeah,
you wrote
it
some
will work.
data, you haven't closed it, and you opened some other tag. Will p tag work exactly? Or it will show any error?
After the user tag, close there is a
No,
close
we
tag.
haven't closed the p tag. P tag.
Okay, the
We some
question
p tag.
yeah.
We haven't ended it. We started some new tag.
No.
New tag.
So will p tag will work same as
After the completion, see, p tag was started. Let's suppose that we started some other p tag, and it should be closed.
no. Let's keep another tag. Division tag. Let's
Division
keep
tag.
division
Everything will
tag.
come under the tag.
Yes,
Everything
Everything
will come
will
under
be
the
closed.
tag.
We have closed the div tag.
And next we can close the p tag and it will work.
No, actually the point is it will work. It is not mandatory to close every tag. We have some restrictions to this are allowed for only few tags. But even p tag also it gives output, but not in all cases. In some cases, based on that, if you open div tag, it will work in some other way. If you open some stamp tag, it will work in some other way. It is not mandatory. The content will be displayed, but the feature of another tag which you open will vary. So it's by convention it's mandatory to close.
Okay. And
To add up a point regarding tags, we also use tags like UL, LI and OL, which comes under lists, unordered list and ordered list. Ordered lists will be points which have numbers or something. Unordered list will be points with the bullet points.
And adding to that, we can also add buttons using button tag. Using that, we can display a button so that we can, which can be used to click and so that it can be redirected to some other data.
okay.
And in order to mix up the web pages, like link up the web pages, we use anchor tag. In anchor tag, we have hyperreference. There we place the URL.
And how do you, okay, that means every tag you have, what are the basic properties that every tag will have?
Open.
Only that? Okay, how do you define that? For example, there is a button. When you click on it, that has to perform some action. Yes? But how does on-click functionality recognize that this button represents this? I mean,
Yeah. I'm not much aware about these web applications, but when it comes to Android, we have on-click listeners.
all?
On-click listeners. Event listeners in
Okay.
in Java.
In my question, I want to rephrase it. My question is only related
I
to.
mean, we may have attributes regarding that. With that attributes, we may perform this option, whatever you said earlier for button.
Yes, okay. The question I was to her extinction, my question is, when I click on a button, how do I recognize this button has to do this functionality? That means, what attributes or properties does a button tag will have is my question.
Redirecting
Redirecting.
and
To display the information.
if there is any information to display, we will be displaying it.
You will not have a name to a button.
What is it?
That's what I was asking. The properties, what are the properties?
Button.
But every button will have a name.
Correct.
Yes, and on-click functionality will be like that. We'll have all the tags. I think most of the tags. Can we have these names to paragraphs also
We can.
for divs?
Divs.
Divs, we can't.
We can't.
We can't have.
We
Think
No
about it.
idea what type
You
of
have-
video.
Okay, right. For divs also you'll be able to have because like your classes.
Classes.
Okay, that's related to CSS. Okay, we'll discuss later. Okay, every tag will have, most of the tags. For every tag you can have a name. Yes, that's how we represent or send data to that particular tag. Yes, and one of you summarize about these elements and tags, whatever we discussed. Yeah, ma'am.
Basically, this HTML consists of head and body. In head will consist of metadata, which consists of a title, which will be displayed as the title of the page, web page we created. And in body, we'll write all the content that is to be displayed in the page we require. This body consists of many tags like paragraph tag, header, and we can even apply inline styles to it in these tags. And there are many other tags like odd lists, buttons, etc.
Okay. And she added one more point I missed it. Inline diagram. What does inline diagram mean?
For example of inline tag is span. For example, there is a paragraph or a line. If you want to change a particular word in that line, we can use inline tags like span. For block line elements, we use div tag example.
That means if you want to bold some content.
If you want to add any style or any changes to a particular line, then we use this tag.
Okay. And any other points to add to HTML?
It is easier than CSS.
Hmm?
It is easier than CSS. Like
It is easy than CSS. Okay, CSS is complicated. And in this metadata, you have this header, right? Metadata, what kind of data you can place in that header?
We can place the links of other web pages which we want
You can link the
CSS,
CSS.
we can link CSS and we write that link in the date.
Okay. And
Bootstrap.
okay, what does that mean? What she told? What does that mean?
I mean,
linking is
whatever-
just-
Okay, we'll let it complete.
Whatever the CSS file we want to we want to upload in that. I mean, if we have classes and all that, we will write that in CSS file. In order to have that difference here, we write it in header with anchor tag and all.
Okay, yeah, that's the point. In order to import whatever CSS file that you have written, to make use of them, you need to import into the existing HTML file that you will be doing in the header. Yeah, you are.
Not only the CSS file, if you want to attach a database which we want to store some, so we'll be adding a link to the databases.
Yeah.
That comes under the part of action, or we can redirect. I mean, we can pass the information to that particular PHP file or Java file we run in the backend.
You can also use a page tag.
Page?
That part.
Yeah.
Okay.
We call it the action tag for that. At the time of what we call at the top of the block, we give it particular like
Form tag.
form tag. Sorry.
Form?
Form tags. This.
Form tag. Okay. And can we only import CSS in this metadata, in this header tag?
We can apply anything.
We can import anything into it. Yes. Yeah, in body we have.
Style, using style tag.
Yeah, we can. Okay, the other tag is you can write your own styles in there also. Apart from writing CSS, you can directly write in HTML also in the style tag. Yeah, is the style tag inside the body or outside the body?
Inside the box.
Inside the body itself. Okay, that was the question that I asked. That. And
Sorry, style
inside the header.
header and body.
Inside
Yeah,
the
it should be inside the header. Outside the body tag. Yes.
Like how many ways we can define styles in HTML? Styles of HTML page. How many ways?
Inline, external, internal.
It's
3 ways.
What do you mean by someone who is
Like we have an example in the morning class. In the paragraph class, we have bolding out some characters and changing the color of it. So it's called as inline, I think.
what about external is like links. The other we can refer other
CSS file.
CSS files.
Okay, then what is meant by internal?
We can write anywhere using style.
Sorry?
Style, using style tag, we can write anywhere in HTML.
Okay, where in HTML? Okay.
Within after header tag and between the header and body tag, we can write that.
Yeah.
As per
Characters, some extent. Okay. Anyone need to add any points to it?
So internal is like not adding, not binding with any CSS file or writing the style within the HTML document. That is one way we can represent the CSS.
The internal we will write in HTML page itself,
Yeah.
but in header part, not in body part. We'll write whatever we are writing in CSS file, we'll write in header part and we'll link the data from header instead of linking from some other file. That's what internal means.
So in the style we can differentiate what kind of text it should be. For paragraph 1 we can make it like a text type of bold. For header we can make it like italic, whatever we want to do. We need to mention that header and the paragraph
Yes.
separately in the style.
Yes.
That is how we present the style sheet within the file.
Yes. And so, what are the advantages for using CSS instead of internal?
The basic point is usability.
Even in internal also, we can reuse, right? So, in inline, as we discussed in morning, there will be plenty of code, and suppose if you want to print some multiple same
So many paragraphs names, headings, heading 1, heading 2 and so on, and in that we have paragraph type. If we want to change a single element, like we can keep a heading and we can reuse that like bold or anything. Instead of writing for every heading, we can use for only single.
When you say keeping it,
No, my question is, what we are writing in internal, what we write in CSS, that will be the code, same code will be writing internal. Instead of writing in body part, we are writing head part. So we have option of internal, right? So then why we choose external?
you want to explain with an example, let's say example.
That's because that was in inline.
So once we write the code.
So the difference between inline and internal is, in inline we'll specify what is the style we need in tag itself. In a command external, we'll bind all the requirements and we'll write some other functions. So the internal means whatever you are writing in external file, the same code will be in header part. The only difference is for external you are keeping in some other file, in internal you are keeping in header part. The only difference is that. So we have internal option, right? Then why we choose external?
So if you use internal for the whole HTML, we use same styling. If we use CSS, we can have multiple styling sheets and for different blocks.
And HTML code
One
will look
point.
like clumsy.
So to answer this point, I would like to bring one concept called layouts. If we are going to use the same layout for the particular page, so we can tag the same thing to the another part of the code also
Okay.
using the layout. We
We
use it like
more
layout.
points, yeah.
And also to make the code look readable.
Yeah, readability. And one more thing, yeah. You are adding all basic points, but you are missing some important points.
To keep it more customizable.
Fine.
Actual designing part will come only through CSS.
Okay, let us take, we have a.html and b.html. So whatever you want to customize the data of a.html, you wrote the whole customization part in header part by using some classes or something. So you want the same customization to be applicable for class B.
Okay.
Fine.
So
if we write in CSS part, we can directly
Use
do
some
both
layout
these
directly.
anywhere. That's the main advantage of preferring external CSS.
Okay. And CSS is used to summarize whatever discussed right now regarding CSS. Anyone?
Good.
CSS basically it is used to style the HTML page which we wanna display. In CSS we like have different stylings and we paste and in CSS like there are three types: internal, inline, and external.
No, that's a part of styles, not CSS.
Styles. In inline styling we write the styles inside the HTML tags. And internal is we write it inside the header and use those classes in the remaining HTML body part. And external CSS is we write the CSS in a separate file and use it to different HTML files.
Okay. I got for CSS is only used for styling. This? That's what I understood from her. Did I miss any point? Apart from internal, external and inline. Regarding CSS, her explanation was that it is used only for styling. Yes? Do you all agree?
Yes, sir.
In which ways do we style it? What are the types how we style a web page? In HTML page. Yeah? Color, okay. Color is one thing. Design.
Yeah.
What design do you say? You design what?
You said
Suppose there is a sign up box like for suppose a button which is if I mean, some of them like it to be in oval shape, some of them like it in rectangular shape. So we can we can specify which style we need it in.
You'll design the div tag, how this data should be presented.
Yeah.
Okay,
We
and
have set of attributes for that, sir.
what are those attributes?
See, for example, first button.
Hmm.
So when it comes to the border, you
Hmm.
can customize the border, whether it is a dotted or a dashed, or you can say the width of the border. We have each and every item for each and every specified thing we can see in the screen. You have padding left, right, top, bottom. That will take the space from the within that. See, within a border or a text box, you are writing some. You are supposed to write some code that will be getting from some other source. That's fine. But you want to put it on some corner. So see, like the bottom padding will be 0. So that will be aligning with the bottom. So you are making it with the padding 0 with the top. So it will be aligned with the top row. So if you give some 50 pixels, 56 pixels from the top. So in that way we customize the position of the content in the page.
For positioning a
Yeah,
tag,
exactly. Position. We can say as a whole positioning.
you can position data.
Positioning, coloring,
Colors, okay.
Width.
style.
Width of what? The text or that particular tag?
Yeah, in case of text we call it
Here
font.
when you, okay, when you say width, height, you mean the content or the width of the tag or height of the tag?
Height of the tag.
Tag. For example, if my tag is of 5 centimeters height, can I place all my data inside this? In this tag of 5 centimeters height?
So that particular box will be the same 5 centimeters. Maybe your text will be splitting out of that. That will be displayed in such a way. So you
Okay.
need to fit that. You need to make the look and feel good. So
Let's take a button, sir. For button, if we place write a width and height, that's applicable for button. And for if we write size, that's applicable for content in the button.
Okay, can the size of the font can be done in CSS also, or by default we will have it in HTML?
we can
We
do
can
the
do it,
CSS.
We can do it in CSS also. That means few operations of HTML can also be done in
Yeah,
CSS,
the basic.
right? Yes. And okay, style sheets. And
In CSS, we also have a thing called selectors, which is used to select a particular paragraph and name it as ID and classes, so that we can use those names to change the color or font of those paragraphs.
okay, what was she explaining?
Like data, we have class and ID. If we write classes for classes,
Classes for?
for particular tags. Suppose 3 paragraph heading like that. If we write class name same for all that, then in the CSS using that class tag we can apply more styles.
To add a point to it, we should only have a single ID tag. Only single ID. We should not use a different ID, more IDs. We can use many classes.
Okay, where do we have these IDs? In HTML or CSS?
CSS.
CSS will have IDs for classes.
Classes and
Classes follow the ID. We'll give an ID for the class.
Okay.
Can we have both IDs and classes in HTML? I think morning Manikanta showed some differences in HTML. Like we use it class equal to content.
Is there something like importing the particular class from the CSS to your page, to your content?
It's like if it is there in HTML, it is like calling function. We have something called as calling function definition and function calling.
Yeah.
If it is in HTML page, it is called function calling. If it is there in some CSS part or some inline or some internal or external, it is called as function definition. Like we are calling here, and the definition of that particular function is some other location.
And how are we integrating, that means making use of CSS in HTML? we till now discussed what HTML is, what CSS is. How do we integrate both of them? How do we make? Okay, the first question is, do we make use? Does HTML make use of CSS or CSS make use of HTML? Yeah, what is the main motto of HTML?
To impart layout, basically I would say, a layout or look and feel from the CSS.
Okay, only HTML. What HTML is? What does HTML do? Only HTML.
It describes title, body.
How
of
your
the
content should
website.
be structured.
How you want to project your data, you will write your tags in that way and you will project your data. That is done by HTML. CSS.
Is used to align the data.
Yeah. You can
Okay.
say alignment or positioning or
One second. Can we not align using only HTML? Do we require CSS?
We can,
But
when there are
but
many
that is
tags
not-
are, we require for many, we write many code, many lines of code as well. When we require the same thing for everything, we can't write many times now. So we make use of CSS like function calling, so that we can apply the same, giving the ID name, the same characteristics or parameters can be applied to everything.
Yes, okay. That means though we can write only, okay. Why did CSS evolve? First thing is, first we initialize, we had only HTML. Yes, whatever present in CSS can be present in HTML also, right? .css file can be ignored, we can place everything in HTML itself. But why we came across something that should
to
be
make
out
the
of
code
it?
more efficient, to be came up with a set of reasons behind the benefits of the CSS. No? So say called code reusability or ease of writing the code, understanding it. We have several reasons for
The
CSS.
major one is fast designing of websites.
Yeah.
You can drop it, whichever the font you want, style, CSS file. There are some tools, development tools, so that we can drag and drop layouts. So you can design a website within 2 hours.
Yeah, that's a part of the framework, but basic advantage is the reusability, ease of writing the code, and what do we say?
Readability.
More customized options, readability,
And
and another efficiency, we can say. These are the 4 or 5 points I found basically the advantage
okay.
of evolving CSS.
That is CSS is only to project beautify your page, web page we are being using, and we are integrating it with the help of, we are making use of CSS in HTML by using what, by making use of the IDs that are present in .css files. We are getting the properties. Yes, for example, I have 50 paragraphs in one HTML page. I have some class file. Can these 50 make use of all those? That means, can these 50 paragraphs have the same properties of one class?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes.
We can
By
do the
using
same.
which option? How do we do it? How do we do that?
Format something.
Sir, I did not get one.
Okay. I have HTML page that has 50 paragraph tags. I have a CSS file. I have a class with some properties. Those properties should be applied to all these 50 tags. How do I do that?
50 tags should be declared with unique name so that we can.
50 HTML tags I have. Yeah.
Isn't
You will,
it
you will,
or it is
Yeah, that's what I'm telling. I have 50 different tags. I have one class file in CSS. It has some properties. That means color, text size, and everything. All these properties that are present in this class should be applied to all these 50 tags in my HTML
in
page.
HTML you can declare a unique name with all those 50 tags, and you can redirect those unique name to the .css file.
We can place all the.
What his explanation? Okay, can someone explain his explanation, or you can re-explain it?
We can place all those 50 paragraph tags within the div class, and we give the class name to that.
Okay.
And we can.
Okay, I have
That's the one way of doing. That's the one way.
these 50 are not at one place. we have some buttons or something like that. They are at some distance.
Some random locations in web page. We have 50 different paragraph tags. So these particular class need to be available for all those 50 paragraphs.
So if there is something called type of if we get the type saying that it is a paragraph, we will apply to it.
Okay.
That's what how we will apply that. That's what we are
Yeah.
how we introduce
Paragraph
that.
and in that block we will write the properties of that.
Properties.
Like if
You already have
next
properties. Those
Then we
properties.
link that in this
That's
paragraph.
what,
How do we link it?
That's what asking. How do we link that?
How do we link?
So actually in Android we use a layout equals to
Okay.
some so and so name called .xml files. So
No,
that is
don't get XML here. We don't have XML in the.
Yes, that's what. Keep your blocking HTML and CSS block.
Don't go out of board.
You don't have those for CSS and HTML.
Yeah.
But out of that you have.
Sorry?
Extending.
Bro, you can keep a unique name to all those 50 tags.
But like if you keep unique names, then how can you link that?
In the header, you can header speak, right?
Okay. Let one speak.
In the header, you can declare it right where the unique name is.
Yeah, we will declare one exactly.
I'm
We
not-
have a class name for the step.
Yes, we have
Yeah, class.
Yes, we have class name. Then
That class name we will write in that paragraph, whatever it is. Classic, the class name has particular name that we will write in that paragraph.
we
Like,
have
we need to call that particular class in every, right?
50 tags. All the 50 tags.
In every tag, we call that particular class here. That's how we link it.
Yeah, you summarize it. Whatever discussed about this question that I asked.
In our web page we have 50 paragraphs. So to apply some properties to all the 50 paragraphs, we can use classes.
We can include. Okay, continue. Move forward.
To apply all the properties to these 50 paragraphs, we can use a class name of that CSS file. In that CSS file, we can place all these 50 paragraphs in the div tag. We can give some same class name to that div tag. By doing that, we can apply.
Okay.
Okay,
Is
then
that
we
what
have-
we discussed? And no? Yeah.
We can add the class name to every paragraph.
Yes. Understood. That means we have different it's no need of placing all the 15 one div
Class.
tag.
Class
Okay, we have a class in
But,
this .css.
Doing naming all the 50 paragraphs, that's
Okay, right. You every tag will have its own name. Yes. You have one more name is a property or not for a paragraph tag. Do you all agree? Like that, we have something called. We can make use of a class properties. So I have a class in .css. I have name called paragraph style. Name of the class is paragraph style. I'll place this name inside every 50 paragraphs so that all these properties will be acquired here. That's it. No need of placing all these 50 in one div and making it a class. Can we do that? Okay, for example, if we add 100 web pages, in how many web pages will come across this scenario that you told? You are seeing the web pages right now, any other web page. Will you see all the 50 paragraphs in one place, at one place? You will have buttons over there, you will have text fields, you will have different. Okay, my another question is, if you have to place 50 paragraphs at one place, why do you require 50 paragraphs at all? You can have one paragraph itself, right?
Yes.
To make,
We can have
no,
one.
we can have, but if you want to differentiate like adding. different-
Yeah, you can do that by using spaces, NBS.
Yes.
Yes.
No, for different styles.
Okay, at this point I am discussing, that's it. You can raise your point after this discussion. Yes? That's how we do it. That means when we have properties in .css, to acquire them, for every tag we can make use of the class name, and by using that we acquire the properties from .css. For buttons or divs, we can do that for divs. For every tag we will be doing. Yes? And you were raising something? None? Yeah.
Okay, now everyone take some site as reference and explain where the CSS is rich and where CSS is poor. Any website.
Okay.
Concept related to
because others.
No,
CSS is
then
very-
already they are visiting some other sites, right? So
Yeah.
based on the
So one example every day I see is whenever I log into Reply Detail, on the login page, there is no alignment between the text field and the box. You can see that overlapping.
Okay.
So that is a poor part of the CSS.
Yes.
And the rest is
You can say it is CSS poor.
don't use the same sheet.
Which part is Facebook? For
Squish, sir.
Say
Squish.
squish.
That's,
Okay, don't use triple next squish.
Okay, that's what you are using now.
Some general e-commerce sites are
You
bought
can
your
see
sites.
that when the page is not loaded, everything is disalligned in a
You're talking about which site?
not any site.
Okay.
Yeah, if the page is not reloaded, then we'll find everything like
Clumsy.
and
Everything
clumsy.
is clumsy.
Okay, why that was happening?
Why do you think that is happening?
Maybe they use traffic to that website and mismatching CSS alignments.
Okay, why is that mismatching?
Because CSS is most of the
Sorry?
Internet or data?
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to link those both files, we need some bandwidth, right? So due to that poor bandwidth, the loading may take some time, and we are only able to see the basic layout without the connection. Okay? So tell me about Amazon's poor. Take Amazon site as reference. I am using Amazon, right? So take it as a reference. Explain where it has rich CSS part and where it has poor CSS part.
It has a search box.
Search box, okay.
Good CSS.
Good CSS.
And add and selecting option like drop down list coming. There CSS good. And
so I feel Myntra and Find App, those are very rich in the CSS,
Yes.
So when you are, what we call hover the mouse over there, and they will give the pop-up with the information without the on-click or anything. So that is a good part. Another websites. I feel mine are very good and very rich in the CSS.
And poor CSS, I think so. MSIT website, whatever we have, I think it has poor CSS because whatever the
Which site
link.
you are talking about, triple or MSIT program?
MSIT.
Yeah.
Program.net.
MSIT program, yes.
It's whatever the link we press, the same page loads every time.
That's a basic personal system like
Yeah.
that was developed in my small.
It was developed long back ago and it's not being updated. Yeah.
If you means like resize the browser, the community they will not.
Yeah. Actually, if you have any basic idea of Bootstrap, you can take that part, but that's all come under Bootstrap. As no one has available Bootstrap, we can put that. Yeah. Bootstrap will take care of all those adjustments. And Kuchika, take some slide as reference and explain where it has poor CSS and rich CSS.
Rich CSS like Amazon, Myntra, as they want to all. They all have rich CSS. And even Khan Academy has rich CSS.
Yes.
There will be like many pages when you open. Poor CSS.
For example, police like we have product description. Product description.
Yes. What Amazon product description?
If you search for product, the side of the image you get the description,
Yes.
specifications. It's like normal, but there is no CSS.
So another way Amazon is rich is that when you are searching for this particular product for several times, it will give you kind of a comparison with different different products from similar product of different brands with what we call price, its usage, its reviews and feedback.
It's not come under CSR or
It's
SQL.
not
It's reading the
CSS
data.
actually. It's
Reading
the
the
data
data.
analytics part.
Analytics part.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, does CSS affect our business? Does it
Of
affect
course.
our business?
Yes.
It will hold the attention
Okay,
of interest
can
of the
someone
student.
tell any e-commerce site failed to sustain in market because of poor CSS?
Because of poor CSS, okay. What that is?
eBay, yeah.
Hike.
I don't know. Okay,
It's
eBay.
messenger.
eBay is the best example. And one more.
Even
eBay,
shop cruise.
Shopcluse. Shopcluse because of that fake product. And all. Okay,
Fake
CSS
product
also.
is
Okay,
correct.
CSS also. CSS also.
When you're searching for the image of the product, you know, you will get different images. The product tag is one thing and the image is another thing.
Yes. Okay, which is the old elder e-commerce site, either Amazon or Flipkart? Amazon. Okay, till now because of due to some internal issues, Flipkart got down. Before that, Flipkart is in upper hand, right? Flipkart is upper hand. After having issues with big billion sales and some internal issues, they went down. So why even the Amazon is the elder one, why Flipkart has more growth before these issues?
The customer acquisition would be the main reason. See,
No, don't
one
go
part
for the
is-
acquisition business.
No. Acquisitions can come on
Relate-
another part.
relate-
Related to the
relate-
CSS,
relate-
same. So CSS mainly holds the interest of the what we call customer, right? So when
Yes.
you are searching for a product, you are really getting a desirable information first.
HTML
And
is product.
when it holds the attention of you, the customer will be with that particular site, right? So that will be the one reason we can say with the
The UI part of Flipkart is very
Yes.
good compared to
Yes,
Very
Amazon.
bright.
Yeah.
It's very bright and its font also.
Yeah.
Very user friendly.
Sorry?
User friendly.
Yeah.
Very good enter. Flipkart was.
Okay. We understood about why HTML and CSS is. We evolved to CSS from where? Is CSS explicitly evolved or it's with HTML itself?
HTML.
That means, what my question is, had it started with HTML itself or later it started? Yes, after HTML. To beautify your web page, we started building and we initially wrote in a HTML page itself. And later to organize, customize the data and everything, same thing had been written in .css file. Yes? Yeah, anybody familiar with Bootstrap? No? Okay. Bootstrap is similar to what CSS does and what HTML does. Combination of both. Yes? And okay, you haven't watched the videos for you to start the discussion.
So I have a case for the Bootstrap. I did some.
Okay, don't go for the blindfold.
No, not like
If
that.
you
I have
know,
some
tell
familiarity
me.
with that.
Yeah.
So bootstrapping in general is like a getting some sort of code from some other, like a collection in which Java we use.
Okay, one second.
And
Bootstrap
Yeah.
has some inbuilt.
Inbuilt layouts.
what
What
we
is the
regularly
inbuilt
use,
layouts?
means Bootstrap has inbuilt methods like they said that what we regularly use for predefined functionalities using the Bootstrap is mainly built on using CSS. So for predefined functionalities we use Bootstrap.
Yes, Bootstrap is a library which will have already predefined CSS files and everything. That means, for example, you take an HTML, you develop a web page using HTML or only CSS. It might take you 2 days or 3 days to complete only a page. But if you consider Bootstrap, it can be able to done in 2-3 hours. If you are familiar with Bootstrap. Why? Because whatever function you might be writing, that means you design your web page, you'll write your tags and everything. Yes or no? You'll write your properties and everything. Those all will be already written in the Bootstrap. You just need to make use of those and make your changes like add different color or increase the width, everything, alignment of the data. Whereas in CSS you need to specify this is my alignment number. Yes. Whereas in Bootstrap it will not be like that. You will have some variable called column size. Your web page will be divided. Every web page will be divided into 12 columns. If you say column size equal to 12, your size will be this much. If you say 6, it will be half of it. And row you will not be having a limit. Based upon your text, you will have your row size. Okay? Like that, whatever you write, that means designing to project your data, you have to design where your data should be present. As you raised the topic of Flipkart has the best design. There you will be able to see image. Beside the image, you will be able to see price, add to cart, and everything, right? How are you able to do that? How did they do that? Just by using CSS and HTML, if they have done it, it would not be that good. But later, after Bootstrap came into existence, they started making use of them. Then the page designing had become much brighter as well. To reduce our more effort, they started building Bootstrap to beautify the web pages mostly. Why CSS came into existence is to beautify the web page, to attract the users. Similar to that, to beautify and attract, the developers are taking more time. To reduce that, Bootstrap has been developed. Combination of both HTML and CSS, right? And any other doubts that you have related to HTML and CSS? Because we cannot continue on Bootstrap because nobody has seen it. Here we are not teaching it, so it will not happen like that. It's only discussion. Yeah.
So I have an example of bootstrapping we did earlier also. Which we are doing bootstrap in Google Forms. So we are dragging and dropping and we are using that. So that is where bootstrap happens in that scenario.
The same libraries, you will do that in a framework, drag and drop. If you want a text, you have seen anybody develop Android, Android Studios? Okay, only. Yeah. You'll have many frameworks where you can just drag and drop. If you want to have a text field, you'll already have that code written, a button like that. You'll drag that button, place it. While you're playing games or cards, you'll drop, right? Yes. Similar to that, you'll drag an element and put at a position where you want to place it. That's drag and drop. Okay. By using in Bootstrap, we'll do the same thing. We'll not write code mostly. Just we'll drag an element and place it where we want.
How Bootstrap different from CSS? How is it different from CSS?
They are not familiar with anything related to Bootstrap. That's why I closed it. Just
Maybe I think that in CSS, whatever the changes we want, we will write it. But in Bootstrap, it is already inbuilt and we just bring it.
Yes, everything is pre-written.
Suppose if you want to sort a array of 10 elements, what we do is we will call it sort function in our program, and we'll implement that sort function somewhere. Merge sort or something, whatever which we want to sort. The function will write our own code. What Bootstrap does is, like if you use sort, what it happens? If you add sort, it will automatically sort. Are you able to see the code of sort?
No.
It is in util package. Like it is similar to that. The whole code is in Bootstrap. So instead of you are writing explicit in CSS, you are directly using it. If you want more than apart from that features, like they are not able to. They covered almost all features, but even though everyone will have their own idea of implementing, right? So if you want any other thing apart which is in Bootstrap, we'll write in CSS. That's what the difference. Like we have insertion sort, merge. Sort is implemented based on the team sort, as for knowledge, team sort. But if you write your own code, which gives a log complexity for sorting, so if you can't use that, right? You want your own sort to be implemented, so you will write your own sort, right? So that kind of code will be written in CSS files. Fine.
Yes. No more doubts related to HTML and CSS. No? Got an idea of what will be present in HTML?
Yes, sir.
What will be present in CSS? We close this?
Yes, sir.
Close the discussion? Okay. How did the discussion go then?
Yeah.
It's good. Everyone involved and
Everybody involved? Okay, we had 3 rules yesterday. What was the first one?
Accountability to the community.
Community. What does that mean?
Yeah.
I think we did not follow that mostly because somebody
Oh, I
was
didn't
interrupting
follow
while
that.
somebody was speaking.
We don't know that they are going to talk. Right?
Okay, the starting point you can stop yourself, right?
Yes.
If both stop and someone can speak.
We
Yes?
also did the same.
Yeah, you need to understand that. That is one point, and in community, any other point that you missed? No?
Like this is a workshop that happens. In slowly we will habituate to.
Yeah, that's what
convert
the
to
discussion is. It's the first day, but you need to know them. Yeah, that's one point, and community rules.
Waiting for the speaker to complete when you start, when it is done.
Yeah.
So at the same time some other person starts, so you can wait or you can ask them to wait for a minute. So that can be done.
Okay. And is everybody listening to every speaker to other person who is speaking?
Yeah, I did it for the first time.
Hmm?
I did it this time.
Yeah, you were surfing on your laptop. Did you?
I did both, sir.
Hmm?
Seriously.
Then do you think you followed the rule of community?
Yeah, I'm listening to them. At the same time, I need to.
Then you violated, right?
No, I'm listening to them.
Okay, for example, you went into an interview and can you take your laptop and
Never, I won't do that.
then the same thing need to be happen from next on. Okay, no laptop,
I'll do-
the group
I'll
discussion.
do that.
Anybody? Nobody should bring them. Okay? You need to prepare them previously and come here. Yes?
That's
And
missed.
next point is
Knowledge.
knowledge.
Yeah, second point of thinking about the community.
Nothing. Yeah, most of you, all of you have spoken about till HTML and CSS. And reasoning also was good. Okay, we did not speak more of the reasoning. You need to start researching on the reasoning also. Why they came up with HTML? We did not discuss that point also. Did we discuss why we came up with HTML?
No.
We had that in initial days only laptops, not laptops, even computers were harder days, yes or no? In the initial days, if having a computer is a big thing. And before Steve Jobs, people thought that only corporate companies should have computers. Yes? But later when Steve Jobs came, that means the business idea to sell it to make computer a personal computer. He bought into the homes, everybody's home. Then due to the vast economy and everything, people start becoming globalizing. In those days we had OS, now also we have OS. Different OS used to have different applications. But there came idea that everybody should be, from every OS, people need to access a particular data. Then this idea came into existence, web programming. Initially programming was there, but for Android was not there. iOS, we used to have different software. For Windows, we used to have different. For Linux, we used to have different one. Yes? How much in the present day, if you have to develop like that, how much time would it take to develop a particular application? For example, consider a calculator. You need to develop for 3 OSs.
We should have the knowledge of every.
For example, a company is there. It need to develop a calculator. How much time they might take?
Depending upon the language which they are using.
Okay, everybody's is not related to they know all the programming language and everything. They have the infrastructure. How much time will they take to complete that work of developing calculator for all the 3 operating systems? That means in the market there is a requirement for a product called calculator. Yes, every person should have a calculator. In that case, how do we, in how many days they will be able to complete it?
1 day.
1 day?
It depends upon manpower. It may take some long time.
Yeah, manpower and everything. They may take for better UI and everything, they may take 1 day for, if they are 10 people. Yes or no? If the same thing had been done in web programming right now, in how much time they can complete it? How many people can complete it? Do we require 10 people for that?
No.
1 person. Okay. 1 person can complete it in
Some
hours. Yeah. What are we reducing here?
we are reducing manpower and time.
Manpower and time. That's why this web programming came into existence is, that is one thing, and to globalize the data. Everybody need to access the data from internet. That means in those days they used to share the data. That means I'm here. For example, banking system, take it. We used to have banks, for example in India we consider every state, consider Telangana itself or no, AP or Telangana both. We have, for example, we had 50 districts. A transaction had happened. It should be updated in other place also, right? Yes. In those days, they used to send letters saying this much amount should be deducted from so and so person. But right now, are we doing that way? No. Okay. If we did not implement this, what would have happened? Do you think banking system would evolve so much?
No.
No, it will not alone.
Yeah. Why banking system has evolved? Because we had the technology which would take care of the frauds that might happen. People will not lose money. Yes, everything. That's why these are the main reasons why this web programming came into existence. By using HTML, they started creating this. And then there came a situation where people need to, that means these corporates need to attract people to watch them. That means, for example, we are selling, for example, a company is selling clothes. Yes? Right now, someone raised Myntra. If Myntra was not the way it was, would you go and shop in Myntra? Yes? It is only HTML. Then would you all go and shop in Myntra? What you would lose there? Nothing. Only one cloth like this and buy. Add to cart. That's it. Would we go in there? That means a case where beauty should also be added to the web page to attract people. Yes, that's why CSS. And CSS they started developing, but it started taking them more time. They started organizing. In order to organize the data, they bought Okay, CSS itself to explicit to the another files with the name of class. Initially, every tag used to have it. Now they bought it into another file. From there, combining both of them, Bootstrap came into existence. Based upon the reasoning, why did we evolve till here? There is a reason. The technology has evolved a lot. Why? If you have thought that we can walk every day, would bullock carts came into existence? From the motorcycles, cycles first, then on motorcycles, the same way. Right? There is a reason. From next on, think about it. Whatever topic we are coming for a discussion, why we have come into this technology. For example, the same thing we discussed, HTML and CSS. Why HTML came into existence? What is the reason for that? In HTML we are implementing something. Why? What is the reason for implementing this? That is the reasoning part in our 3 points. Yes? Knowledge, reasoning and community. From next discussion, this went on well, not that good, but first one better. But from next one, see that this won't happen. Because this should be continued till SCF or later also. From this discussion, were you able to grab some knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Yes, no?
Yes.
That's right. That's the main reason. Yeah, everybody will know some point. If you are in a discussion, we can share knowledge with each other, and that's how it helps. Okay?
And participation is also more important. Quiz, you are not participating well and you have to teach. So, from next class, I must take care of it. Okay?
And based upon these three things, you will be evaluated. Though you speak, if you don't follow these rules, you lose your marks. It's not just speaking. It's like you need to follow all these three rules: community, reasoning, and knowledge. Just speaking doesn't matter, doesn't count. These three rules count. Okay? Right, then we'll close today.
Thank you so much.